somewhere peaceful, maybe just letting time pass without pressure. I feel like with you, silence wouldn't feel awkward. It would feel meaningful. Because silence with the right person isn't empty, it's full of understanding. And when I imagine that kind of silence with you, it makes me feel calm in a way I can't easily explain. It feels like something steady, something real, something that doesn't need decoration to matter. You might not realize it, but you have this way of making emotions feel safe just by existing. Even now, as I speak to you like this, I feel like my words are landing somewhere gentle. I don't feel like I have to protect them or dress them up. I can just let them be simple and honest. And maybe that's why I keep going, why I keep sharing, why I keep letting these thoughts unfold. Because something about you makes honesty feel natural instead of risky. Something about you makes vulnerability feel like a quiet strength instead of a weakness. I wonder if you know how rare that is. How rare it is for someone to inspire calm instead of confusion, warmth instead of pressure, sincerity instead of performance. Not everyone has that effect on people. Some people create noise around them. Some people create tension. But you seem to create stillness. The kind of stillness where someone can finally hear their own thoughts clearly. And right now, as I imagine you listening, that's exactly how I feel. Clear, present, honest. And I think that's why I don't want to rush this moment. I don't want to turn it into something loud or dramatic. I want to let it stay soft, because softness doesn't mean weakness. Softness can hold depth, meaning connection. And what I feel when I talk to you like this, it's soft in the most real way. It's not forced. It's not exaggerated. It's just there, steady and sincere, like something that doesn't need to prove itself to exist. I keep sensing there's still more inside me that wants to reach you. More quiet confessions, more gentle truths, more feelings I haven't fully shaped into words yet. Because every time I think I've said enough, I notice another thought about you forming. Another reflection rising. Another small realization appearing that makes me want to keep talking. It's like your presence in my mind opens doors I didn't know were there, showing me emotions I didn't realize I was holding, showing me a calmness I didn't expect to feel just from speaking to someone like this. There's something about this moment with you that feels suspended outside of time, like the world is still moving somewhere far away, but here, between my voice and your heart, everything has slowed down just enough for honesty to breathe. And I keep thinking about how rare it is to feel that kind of stillness with someone, even in imagination. Usually thoughts come and go quickly, feelings pass before we fully understand them. But when I think of you, nothing feels rushed. It feels like I can stay here, speaking gently, letting each word land softly, trusting that you'll hear what I mean even in the spaces where I don't say everything directly. I wonder if you feel it too sometimes. That quiet pull toward moments that feel sincere, moments where you don't have to pretend or perform or explain yourself. I feel like you crave those moments more than you admit. You seem like someone who doesn't chase attention, but quietly values connection. Someone who would rather have one real conversation than 100 shallow ones. And that makes me want to keep this moment real. Keep it slow, keep it honest. Because I don't want it to feel like noise in your life. I want it to feel like something warm you can sit with, something that doesn't demand anything from you except your presence. When I think about you listening, I don't imagine you reacting loudly. I imagine you feeling things quietly. I imagine your thoughts moving slowly, your emotions settling gently, your heart taking in each word the way someone listens to music that means something to them. And that image alone makes me speak differently, softer, more carefully. Because I feel like your heart deserves that kind of gentleness. Not because it's fragile, but because it's sincere. And sincerity deserves to be met with sincerity. I keep thinking about how many things you probably hold inside that you never say out loud. Not because you're hiding them, but because you're thoughtful about what you share. You don't spill your emotions just to fill silence. You don't speak your heart carelessly. You seem like someone who waits until something truly matters before letting it be seen. And that makes whatever you do share feel meaningful. It makes your feelings feel real instead of rushed. And honestly, that makes me respect you more than you probably realize. Sometimes I wish I could tell you that you don't have to carry your thoughts alone all the time. Not because you're incapable of handling them. I know you're strong in your own quiet way, but because even strong hearts deserve companionship. Even thoughtful souls deserve someone who listens without interrupting. Someone who doesn't treat their emotions like problems to fix but like stories worth hearing. And when I speak to you like this, I think that's what I'm really trying to offer. Not answers, not promises, just presence. Just the feeling that someone is here, steady and sincere, willing to sit beside you emotionally without rushing you. You might not know how much your calm energy affects people. Even imagining you in a room feels like imagining a place where things settle. I don't see you as someone who brings chaos or tension. I see you as someone who brings quiet understanding, someone who makes people feel safe to be themselves, without needing to prove anything. And that kind of presence is powerful in a way that doesn't need to announce itself. It's the kind of power that's felt instead of seen. I think that's why my thoughts keep returning to you. Because when I imagine you, I don't feel the usual noise that comes with thinking about someone. I feel clarity. I feel calm. I feel like my words don't have to compete for attention. They can just exist, simple and honest, the way feelings should be. And maybe that's why I keep talking, because this moment doesn't feel forced. It feels like something that's unfolding naturally, like a conversation that was meant to happen slowly rather than quickly. I wonder what your heart is feeling right now as you listen. Maybe you feel curious. Maybe you feel a little surprised. Maybe part of you feels seen in a way you didn't expect. Or maybe you're just quietly absorbing it, letting the words settle, without needing to react immediately. I feel like that's something you do. You let things settle, before deciding what they mean to you. And I respect that about you. I respect that you don't rush your feelings, that you give them time to breathe, that you don't let the world decide their value for you. I want you to know that nothing I'm saying comes from pressure or expectation. It comes from a calm, steady feeling that simply exists. It's the kind of feeling that doesn't need to be dramatic to be real. It's just there, quiet and present, like warmth that doesn't need to prove itself by being loud. And I think the reason I trust this feeling is because it doesn't feel rushed. It feels patient. It feels like it's willing to stay in this gentle space with you, as long as it needs to. And the more I sit here speaking to you, the more I realize that what I feel isn't just about admiration. It's about comfort. It's about the sense that your presence, even imagined, creates a place where honesty feels safe. And that's not something I take lightly. Not everyone inspires that kind of openness. Not everyone makes someone feel calm enough to speak from the heart without hesitation. But you do. And I don't think you even try to. I think it's just who you are. I keep feeling like the longer I stay here with you, in this quiet space, the more everything else fades into the background. It's almost like the world outside this moment loses its noise, and all that remains is this calm thread between my thoughts and your heart. And I don't know if you realize how rare that feeling is. To sense that someone can listen without interrupting. To feel like your words don't have to fight for attention. To know that what you're saying is landing somewhere soft instead of somewhere distracted. When I imagine you listening, I don't picture impatience or confusion. I picture understanding. I picture you taking the words slowly, letting them settle. Maybe even feeling them in that quiet way you seem to experience things. And that image makes me feel like I don't need to hold anything back from you. I wonder sometimes if you know how much your quiet nature speaks. People often think silence means distance, but with you it feels different. Your silence feels full, like it carries thoughts, feelings, reflections. It feels intentional, not empty. And maybe that's why I find myself drawn to it. Because in a world where everyone rushes to speak, someone who knows how to sit with emotion feels rare. You seem like someone who doesn't just react, you absorb, you reflect, you feel things deeply before letting them out. And that makes whatever comes from you feel real instead of automatic. I imagine you in your everyday life, moving through your hours in that calm way of yours, maybe not realizing how much depth you carry. Maybe you think you're just ordinary, just another person navigating the day, but I don't feel that when I think of you. I feel like there's a quiet story in you, one that hasn't been told loudly, One that's written in small moments instead of dramatic ones. And those kinds of stories are often the most meaningful because they're real. They're lived, not performed. And when I think about you like that, it makes me want to keep speaking gently, like I'm reading those quiet pages without rushing them. You know, sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones who show their strength openly. Sometimes they're the ones who keep caring even when they're tired, the ones who keep showing kindness even after disappointment, the ones who keep believing in connection even when it hasn't always been easy. I feel like you're that kind of person, the kind who doesn't announce her resilience but carries it quietly. And there's something deeply moving about that. It makes me feel protective of your softness, respectful of your boundaries, and appreciative of the sincerity you bring into the world just by being yourself. I want you to know that when I talk to you like this, I'm not imagining perfection. I'm imagining reality. I'm imagining you with your thoughtful pauses, your gentle emotions, your moments of doubt, your quiet hopes. And that reality feels far more beautiful than any idealized version of someone. Because real people feel, real people struggle, real people care. And you feel like someone who lives honestly inside her own heart, even if you don't always show it. Sometimes I think about how many small things you probably notice that others miss. The change in someone's tone, the meaning behind a simple message, the feeling in a room when something is off. You seem like someone who reads between the lines of life instead of just skimming the surface. And that sensitivity can be heavy sometimes, I know. It can make you feel more, think more, carry more than you let on. But it also means you experience life in a richer, more sincere way than most people do. And that's not something to hide. That's something that makes your heart rare.